What do bartenders, bouncers, DJs, servers, door people, managers, and even house moms have in common? With a little effort, they can ruin your night, or they can make it. On this episode of Girls Just Want to Have Funs, we're going to talk about support staff. Strippers may vastly outnumber support staff in a club, and they may be the ones who make the club the most money. But those other people can really affect the way you get on in a club. You can choose to battle them, befriend them, or try to fly under their radar. And no matter what you choose, your experience at the club will be vastly different. Depending on what path you choose with a member of staff, you'll get very different results. For example, take the DJ. If you tip him well and often, and you get to know him well enough that he knows your name, you may get better music, even if you pick your own playlist, and you might even get better stage times. Good DJs read their audience, and they'll know to play country songs for you when the crowd is full of cowboy hats, and older songs when the crowd is older. They'll play bangers on Wednesday nights and slower, sexier songs when the club is quieter. By the way, if you do help create your playlist, some of this is on you. Even if you want to dance to all metal or all country or all dubstep, add some songs for every scenario. If your club gets people who would be listening to country music, add some of that. Add some 70s music or some classic rock in case all of your customers are older gentlemen. And make sure you have some heavy stuff too for when the local biker gang shows up or the guys from the tattoo convention. If you're friends with the DJ, you can explain to him or her when you want these things played. If your preferred genre doesn't match your club's aesthetic at all, get exploring. There will be at least a few songs and genres that your club likes that still make you feel like dancing. And the DJ can probably help you with this. If the DJ sets too high a price for these things, you can choose to badger him for all the songs you want and the times you want on stage or off stage, depending on your preference. Or you could choose to stay under his radar. Ghost through your interactions with him, pay exactly how much the club says you have to, or whatever you think is fair. You'll get average music without having to fight for it, and go on stage whenever the DJ decides. If you're an employee, it's illegal to demand a tip from you, but most of these situations still apply. You get to make this decision with every staff member. You would think people working in strip clubs would be okay with stripping and respect strippers, but that's not always the case. Bouncing, bartending, and serving can be a lot more lucrative at clubs than it is anywhere else. And it can be hard to find a job bouncing, bartending, or DJing. So that may be why some people are working there. I have found that a lot of strip club staff think strippers are garbage, except for the few that they've made personal relationships with. So it's important to spend any downtime you get talking to these people, especially bouncers and bartenders, and getting to know them and letting them get to know you. Tip bouncers who help you, for sure. And anytime you order a drink at the bar, even if it's free, tip the bartender. If these people care about you, you'll be safer, and you'll make the occasional extra sale. The best thing I ever did for my sales, other than establishing what my look was going to be and learning how to do sales skills, was to buy a soda every night from the bartender before we opened and tip her $1. As a result, she waved me over every time she met a customer she thought I'd do well with, and then introduced us. I made a killing this way. She set me up with customers who were looking for lots of dances or champagne rooms, and probably paid me back $300 for every dollar that I gave her. I always made sure that my customers, especially my regulars, tipped her well as well. She turned out to be one of the coolest people I ever met, and she and I are still friends years later. I asked her yesterday if she had any suggestions for this video. Her suggestions were, tip the bartender or waitstaff if you give them any work. Be patient while you're waiting for your drinks if there's a crowd. And when you come up to the bar to talk to customers, pay attention to your surroundings. Lots of dancers are so desperate to get in that dance that they don't realize they're dragging a customer away while he's either still ordering or paying for a drink. And when there's a line, that can really slow things down. Bartenders and servers get asked who the best dancers are a lot. And bouncers do too, from time to time. Make sure that you're the first to come to their mind and that they like you. Making relationships with bouncers and managers is really important because they're the difference between getting a scare in the dance room and someone really hurting you. In most clubs, there are cameras in all the dance rooms, and there's a manager watching the screen with a radio so he can talk to a bouncer if things go south. Sometimes this is just a bouncer walking in to remind everyone that touching's not allowed, or whatever touching that's going on is not allowed. Sometimes it means coming in and physically pulling someone off of you who's trying to assault you or hurt you in some way. How carefully the manager watches and how much he or she wants you personally to stay safe depends, unfortunately, on your relationship with them. And that decides how quickly help comes. Or if there's certain behavior you want to let slip, they have to care about you to remember that information too. How fast the bouncer comes in and how scary he is towards your customer when he's reinforcing the rules also depends on your relationship with him. An invested bouncer and a caring manager can keep a situation from becoming a situation. There's a flip side to this coin, however. Most managers, bouncers, and DJs are men, and you're trying to get friendly with them while in your best hair, best makeup, and pretty skimpy clothing. They also probably get to see you naked or nearly naked on stage, so it's important to have boundaries. It can be really tempting to get a staff member's warmth and approval by flirting, but this can go sour really badly if someone takes you seriously. Avoiding a bouncer who thinks that he's on his way to getting a date or laid is no fun. So I suggest making your conversation less alluring and more personal. If you're a student, talk about school. If you're an artist, talk about art. Gossip about customers. Do not gossip about other people who work in the club, because that opens up a whole new can of worms. I don't ever suggest talking to your customers about kids, or even mentioning that you have them. But if you're building a rapport with a staff member who you trust and you feel comfortable doing so, talking about your kids can remind them that it's not only you depending on your safety and the money that you bring in. Just be sure they know not to share that information. So there are some helpful hints about dealing with club staff. I'm doing a really exciting thing on Saturday at 7 p.m. I'm having my first patron-only live stream. It's open to anybody who has pledged more than $3, and I'm going to wear something interesting and ask you questions and answer your questions and talk about whatever you want to talk about. My Patreon is in the description, as it is in all my videos. So come have fun with us. There are only a few patrons pledged at this level right now, so it should be a very intimate experience. Get your pledges in by Saturday night at 7. This video is going straight into the playlist Girls Just Want to Have Funs, which is up here and talks about some of the things you need to know to be a good stripper. Down here is a video of mine that YouTube thinks you'll like. I hope you have a wonderful day and that you enjoy your next visit to the strip club. Please like below and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you. Bye.